There are some duos in One Piece that work so exceptionally well that, well, they are basically a two-man army on their own. Individually, they are solid and incredibly strong, sure, but when they team up, they become unstoppable. But have you ever wondered which are the best duos in One Piece? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. Number 15, Dory and Broggy. You see, these two giants are literally the oldest running duo in the entire series, at least as far as we know. And no, I don't just mean in years, though yes, they've been fighting each other for a full century. I mean, literally 100 years of one-on-one combat every single day over a misunderstanding about who killed the giant Sea King. I mean, imagine being so stubborn you keep your grudge going for 100 years over lunch. Even though, yeah, in all honesty, this is just an excuse to keep fighting since the two of them actually enjoy the thrill of battle. But listen, these two aren't just big for nothing. Back in Elbaf, Dory and Broggy were co-captains of the giant warrior pirates, a crew so powerful they struck fear into the hearts of pirates and Marines alike. And even after splitting up, their bond remained. If you thought they peaked in Little Garden, oh, think again. These boys are commanders under red-haired Shanks, and they helped absolutely annihilate Kid's crew. Let's just say that when Shanks asked them to attack Kid, well, their attack left nothing behind. But why do we rank them only at 15 and not higher? Well, for one, they do not have any confirmed feats of hockey. And for two, well, you'll understand why once you see who I have at number 14. You see, the next unplayable duo in One Piece is Zoro and Google Maps. I mean, think about it. Give Zoro some sense of direction, and he automatically solos the verse. I mean, just the other day, he got lost and somehow found this subscribe button that when you click it, you subscribe to the best One Piece channel on YouTube. So yeah, give it a go, and while you're at it, throw a like as well. And if you thought 100 years of battle was wild, oh, buckle up, because our next duo is even more stubborn in fighting each other. Number 14, Zoro and Sanji. You see, these two are generally not cooperating when fighting. Quite the opposite, actually. They might even start fighting each other mid-battle, many times over. However, when they decide they do want to fight together, aka when the situation gets actually real, well then, this becomes a different story. If there's a duo that defines I hate you, but at the same time I would die to protect you, then yeah, it's these two. Zoro thinks Sanji is a loudmouthed pervert with no priorities, and Sanji thinks Zoro is a brain-dead meathead who couldn't find north with a compass strapped to his forehead. But what many people didn't realize is why this rivalry exists to begin with. And no, before anyone says it's because Sanji is called Blackleg Sanji, you know, those who get it, they get it. There's actually a deeper reason. You see, this difference stems from the way the two of them view women. Zoro sees women as equal to men, and thus, he treats them as such. He does not like people seeing them as lower, something that came to be because of the relationship he had with Kuino when they were kids. While on the other hand, Sanji treats women differently exactly because they are women. Even though both respect women, their beliefs on the matter are polar opposites, and they both have very strong feelings over the situation. But back to the actual partnership. You see, here's the secret sauce that makes them a great duo. They balance each other. Their fighting style. One has access to hockey, the other can literally heal himself, one of them can fly and is probably faster as well, while the other is built like a tank. Together, they took down the two hands of none other than Kaido, a feat that may be even more impressive than Luffy taking down Kaido himself. Because when Luffy had help from multiple people going through his fight with Kaido, with the exception of the final stages, Zoro and Sanji were fighting on their own, and they successfully defeated the two wings of the so-called strongest creature in the world. These were just two of the duos we will analyze. And let me tell you, not only does each duo get stronger and stronger as we move on, they also get more interesting to speak about as well. Let's keep going. Number 13, Dragon and Sabo. Here we have the head of the Revolutionary Army alongside his number 2. Here we would probably have to place them higher. However, the thing is that we know close to nothing about Dragon. And Sabo's current power level, even though Sabo is of course really powerful, well, when compared with the rest of the characters in our list, yeah, he just really doesn't compare. The reason this duo was even placed that high to begin with is because of Dragon. Dragon is the most wanted man in the world, and well, that's about as far as power estimate we have for him. The only confirmed thing we can say is that this guy is surely hyped by the way everyone around him treats him. So overall, it's fair to assume he is probably at the very least Yonko level. Sabo now has for starters the power of the Mira Mira no Mi, allowing him to produce and control flames at a wide scale. Even before acquiring this devil fruit, his martial arts allowed him to dislocate and crush bones, armor, and weapons through his so-called Dragon Claw style. Once he coats his Dragon Claw style in flames as well, he becomes even more powerful. So even though he is definitely not Yonko level yet, a safe bet would be to assume he is around 3rd or even 2nd Yonko commander level. Number 12, Big Mom and Katakuri. Now, the reason we place this duo higher than Dragon and Sabo is basically because of Katakuri. Big Mom and Dragon are around the same power level. Dragon's probably a bit stronger though. But when comparing Katakuri and Sabo, well, for the time being at least, and based on the limited times we actually saw Sabo on screen, Katakuri does seem quite stronger. Now, it's well known that Big Mom possesses some of the most monstrous strength in all of One Piece. Big Mom also possesses tremendous superhuman durability due to her extremely tough skin, being compared by Sanji and Capone Bege to an iron balloon. She's able to destroy cities, sink ships, and resist cannon and gunfire without receiving a single injury. She's also able to grab Prometheus, put him in her hair, and ride on him for a long period without getting any burns, despite Prometheus being a miniature sun. Now, seeing her and the way she is built, most people would assume that she's quite slow, right? Quite the opposite, actually. Despite her enormous size, Big Mom is extremely fast in combat. And the best part, she's not even in her prime at this form. She has all three forms of Haki, and her devil fruit, the Soru Soro no Mi, allows her to manifest people's souls as an ethereal substance that she can grab hold of. So long as the intended victim feels fear, she can then steal the soul from her victim, taking away their lifespan by an amount of her choosing. She can also consume her own soul in order to make herself bigger and stronger, as well as infuse souls into her own skeleton, allowing her to heal her own broken bones by commanding them to return to their proper structure. All in all, it's obvious that you don't become a Yonko without a reason, and Big Mom, she deserved the title in every way. And Katakuri, he is definitely a first commander worthy of his title as well. He has a Logia Devil Fruit, all forms of Haki, and even Future Sight too. He was Luffy's most difficult opponent by far, and arguably one of the fan favorites as well. Number 11, Kaido and King. Kaido is the embodiment of absolute dominance, whether it's in the skies or land. There's a reason he was dubbed as, quote, the strongest creature in the world. And let me tell you, this wasn't just hype. This is a man who took a combined assault from the Luffy, Kid, Law, and Zoro combo, got back up, tanked Ryu-infused attacks, and still had enough in the tank left to solo nearly every major player in Wano. His durability is mythical. He's been captured over 18 times, tortured, and executed multiple times. And not once did that stick. His hybrid form alone was enough to overwhelm Luffy at Gear 4, and even Gear 5 needed the power of cartoon physics to put him down. Beside him is King, his right-hand man, the last of the Lunarians, a race so rare and powerful, the world government pays millions just for intel. King combines the raw durability of his people when his flames are on, with the lethality of a Zoan Pteranodon, an aerial monster who can rain death from the skies and match Zoro blow for blow in a high-speed, high-stakes battle. His swordsmanship is savage, precise, and fueled by unshakable loyalty. Together, Kaido and King are the perfect aerial war machine, the former unleashing nuclear-level Boro breaths, while the latter strafes the battlefield with fire and steel. Any battlefield with these two in it becomes a no-fly zone, and possibly even a no-survival zone. Number 10, Luffy and Zoro. I mean, which duo could defeat Kaido and King? Obviously, the one who actually defeated them in the anime and manga. Zoro and Luffy share a very special bond, and let me also add, exceptional chemistry when fighting together. Quite literally, they complement each other perfectly. For example, Luffy's main weakness is swords. Well, that's exactly where Zoro steps in, the guy who aims to become the best swordsman in the world, and as Luffy said, the future Pirate King would not take anything else by his side. Luffy in Gear 5 is, without exaggeration, one of the most broken power-ups in One Piece, and not just because of his raw strength, but because it changes the rules of combat around him. In this form, Luffy awakens his Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika, a mythical Zoan that fuses rubbery elasticity with reality-bending creativity straight from a cartoon. Physically, his speed, strength, and durability all spike to absurd levels. He can toy with Kaido, a man who tanks city-level attacks for breakfast, and he's fast enough to counter not one, but multiple of Kizaru's clones, all while moving at the speed of light. But what really pushes Gear 5 into cheat code territory is how it lets Luffy fight with the most ridiculous power in the world, the ability to make anything behave like rubber. He can grab lightning out of the sky and hurl it like a spear, inflate his body or individual limbs to giant proportions instantly, body, and even transform the ground, buildings, or Kaido's own body into bouncy surfaces to redirect attacks. I mean, at this point, this is environmental domination. And in advanced Conqueror's Haki, and you've got a fighter who can bypass even the most absurd durability. But talking about durability, by his side is the man that's built like a tank. And let me also add, acts like a tank. Zoro! Zoro can tank attacks from both Big Mom and Kaido combined. He can cut mountains with a casual swing, and more impressively, can even injure Kaido with his attacks. Add Conqueror's Haki, speed, strength, and an insane amount of willpower, then no wonder Zoro won against King. Even if Zoro needed that extra racist power boost to eventually win once King took off his mask. Number 9, Aokiji and Blackbeard. Now here, well, in theory, Blackbeard is the captain and Aokiji part of the group, but in reality, Aokiji might even be at the same level, if not even stronger than Blackbeard as well. Let me point out how him and Akainu were fighting for literal days in order to decide who will be the new fleet admiral. And Akainu is indeed among the strongest characters in One Piece, and without a doubt, Yonko level as well. Not only that, but remember Cracker? A character Luffy had to fight for, I don't even remember how many episodes, and also had to use fourth gear too. Aokiji didn't even bother. He simply walked past him and froze him. And should we talk about his fight with Garp, a character that, by the way, can decimate entire islands with a single punch? Yeah, Aokiji is on that level, if not higher. Then there's Blackbeard, a character who, by the way, gave Shanks his scar even before Blackbeard had consumed a devil fruit. And now, he's eaten two of the most broken ones in the entire world, the Yami Yami no Mi and the Gura Gura no Mi. Together, this duo is bound to cause havoc in the world of One Piece. But whether Aokiji sticks with his crew for long, or whether he betrays them, well, this remains to be seen. Number 8, Loki and Hajrudin. Okay, this duo, to be honest, does not get along all that well for now, but they are literal brothers. And it does seem that Loki is misunderstood so far, so it's not far-fetched to believe the two of them will fight alongside each other before the Elbaf arc ends. But how strong are the two of them together? You see, Loki is hyped as one of the strongest characters in the entire world, a prince of the warrior giants that are monsters as is. Consider this guy dangerous enough to destroy all of Elbaf on his own. So yeah, this should tell you how strong he really is. When the Straw Hats sensed his presence, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji immediately felt an intensity comparable to facing a Yonko, with Luffy outright admitting it gave him goosebumps. While his devil fruit remains a mystery, its legendary status is enough for fans to speculate that it could rival some of the most broken devil fruits in One Piece. Fan opinion is split between him being just below Shanks level or outright surpassing current Yonko's strength, but there's no denying that he's being positioned as a key power figure in the series endgame. Hajrudin now, well, even though he's obviously not as strong as his brother, he is still insanely powerful. He is a prime example of how fearsome Elbaf's warriors are in action. As a descendant of the same fighting tradition as Dory and Bragi, he has immense raw strength and durability, enough to crush entire ships or massive foes with a single punch. Number 7, Shanks and Ben Beckman. Here, we rank them above Loki and Hajrudin for the sole reason that Hajrudin is not on the same level as Shanks and Beckman. Whereas Beckman was casually threatening and keeping Kizaru in check, Hajrudin was struggling in the Colosseum fights with opponents who don't even come close to Kizaru or, in general, Yonko-level opponents. Shanks is a Yonko, and as such, he's at the absolute peak of the pirate world, and his Conqueror's Haki is in a league of its own, powerful enough to knock out thousands in an instant, and refined enough to completely shut down an enemy's attack from miles away. His Observation Haki is equally exceptional, granting him the ability to predict movements and respond faster than his opponents can react. Just ask Kid about that one, he'll confirm. His Armament Haki allows him to deliver sword strikes with destructive force, rivaling even Mihawk's. Despite losing an arm, his swordsmanship remains Yonko tier, which speaks to just how skilled and efficient he is in battle. Shanks also possesses unmatched speed, reflexes, and timing, capable of ending a fight before it even begins, if given the right opening. Beckman now. Even though we haven't seen all that much about him, we did spy a few significant feats from him. His most famous feat came at Marineford, where he aimed his rifle at Admiral Kizaru and immediately forced him to stop an attack, a reaction that's almost unheard of for an admiral, especially one as confident as Kizaru. Known as the smartest man in East Blue, he's a master tactician. While his main weapon is a rifle, implying lethal mid to long range capability, it's almost certain that Beckman can also handle himself in close combat, likely imbuing both bullets and melee strikes with advanced Haki for devastating results. My personal theory is that Beckman is also a swordsman, and Oda hides this until the ending stages, where he will have him fight off against Zoro. Number 6, Shamrock and Gunko. Shamrock is a master swordsman wielding the Cerberus blade, which doesn't just serve as a weapon, but as a conduit to summon a monstrous three-headed beast capable of tearing through battlefield opposition. The fact that he can directly confront someone like Loki bulky, an entity feared even by Yonko-level fighters, shows that his power isn't just hype, it's tangible and dangerous. His immortality, or accelerated regeneration, means that even fatal wounds aren't necessarily the end for him, giving him a battle endurance advantage that most fighters in the world simply can't match. His use of magic circles for instantaneous travel makes him a strategic nightmare, able to appear anywhere and pressure opponents before they can react. While his exact hockey proficiency hasn't been confirmed, it's hard to imagine a figure of his standing not possessing at least advanced forms of armament and observation, with a high probability of Conqueror's Haki given his bloodline and status. What makes Shamrock particularly threatening is that, unlike Shanks' measured approach, he's ruthless, willing to use overwhelming force, psychological intimidation, and underhanded tactics to secure victory. And by his side, we have Gunko. Gunko's strength lies in the lethal combination of her Devil Fruit's control abilities, her supernatural regeneration, and her sheer combat expertise as one of the God's Knights. The Arrow no Mi gives her an oppressive battlefield presence. Once her bandages make contact, opponents can find themselves immobilized, restrained, or even suffocated before they have a chance to counterattack. Her regeneration elevates her threat level even further. The ability to reconstitute her body after sustaining devastating damage means conventional tactics for wearing down an opponent won't work, forcing enemies to find unconventional ways to incapacitate her permanently. The fact that she overwhelmed not just regular fighters, but seasoned warriors like Jinbei, while simultaneously fending off other Straw Hats, shows that her raw combat ability is easily in the upper echelons of the series. Number 5, Kaido and Big Mom. This duo, well, we don't need to speak a lot about them. They combined their strength, and it took the combined efforts of multiple opponents to stand a chance. Zoro, Luffy, Law, Kid, Yamato, Adult Momonosuke, these two are literal demons when going all out. Both of them have extremely high durability, insane strength, immense size, speed you would not expect from beasts of that size, and exceptional hockey mastery. Overall, it's not random these two were Yonkos for years, with pirates from all over the world fearing just to even look them in the eyes. Number 4, Garp and Sengoku. Garp and Sengoku stand as two of the most legendary figures in Marine history. Garp, known as the hero of the Marines, earned his reputation by repeatedly clashing with Goldie Roger during the Pirate King's prime and surviving battles that would have destroyed ordinary men. His power is built on monstrous physical strength, incredible durability, and mastery of advanced armament hockey. So great that he can destroy massive ships or terrain with a single punch. Even in his old age, Garp moves with explosive speed and can overwhelm multiple high-level opponents at once, as seen when he fought through the Blackbeard Pirates elite on Hachinosu. Sengoku, the Buddha, is Garp's longtime comrade and the former fleet admiral of the Marines. While Garp relied on raw physical might, Sengoku combines considerable strength with tactical genius and devil fruit abilities. His mythical Zoan devil fruit, the Hito no Mi model Daibutsu, allows him to transform into a giant golden Buddha, capable of generating shockwave-based attacks that can devastate multiple enemies in a single strike. He displayed this power during the Paramount War, stopping a rampaging Blackbeard Pirates crew in their tracks. Together, Garp and Sengoku formed one of the most unstoppable duos in Marine history. Number 3, Roger and Rayleigh. Goldie Roger and Silver's Rayleigh were the captain and vice captain of one of the most legendary pirate crews in history, if not the most legendary one. Roger, as captain, was a man of unmatched willpower and vitality, possessing all 3 types of hockey at extraordinary levels. His Conqueror's Haki was so intense, it could clash equally with Whitebeard's and split the skies, while his armament and observation Haki allowed him to dominate without relying on a devil fruit. Roger's swordsmanship was world-class, and his sheer presence could inspire allies and intimidate even the most hardened foes. He had the rare ability to see the voice of all things, aka communicate with certain creatures. Rayleigh, his right-hand man and also known as Dark King, was the perfect counterpart, calm, strategic, and equally terrifying in battle. A master of all 3 forms of hockey, Rayleigh's refined technique allowed him to fight on equal footing with an admiral like Kizaru even in old age. Despite being long retired, in his prime, he was the crew's anchor in battle, able to protect Roger's flanks and dismantle enemy commanders with surgical precision. Do I need to remind you about the time he stopped Marco with just one of his fingers? His mastery of advanced armament hockey, capable of internal destruction, and his razor-sharp observation hockey make him almost impossible to catch off guard. Together, Roger and Rayleigh represented the perfect synergy of raw power and disciplined technique. Roger as the overwhelming force who led the charge, and Rayleigh as the composed tactician who ensured their victories were clean, calculated, and absolute. Number 2, Garp and Roger. Garp and Roger were technically on opposite sides of the law, yet they did fight together in at least one known occasion, the God's Valley incident, in which they joined forces to defeat the legendary crew of Roxy Chebet. Goldie Roger, as we already analyzed, was a man standing at the top of the world. Wealth, fame, power, the man who obtained everything there is to obtain in this world. Monkey D. Garp, the hero of the Marines, countered Roger with equally ridiculous physical prowess and combat instincts. Known for his fist that could crush mountains, Garp combined advanced armament hockey with superhuman durability and speed, allowing him to pressure even the Pirate King himself. Their battles were legendary, epic confrontations that neither side could win decisively, forging a mutual respect so deep that Roger entrusted Garp with raising Ace after his death. And not only that, this rivalry was also paused in the face of overwhelming strength, aka when they had to defeat a common enemy, Rox, and his crew of insanely powerful pirates. But having covered all these duos, who could possibly be standing at the very top as the strongest duo in One Piece? You probably already guessed one of them is Rox, but how about the second? Well, among all the characters he had in his crew, I think the one it would make the most sense to include as his partner would be either Shiki or Whitebeard. But between the two of them, I feel like Whitebeard was stronger. So number 1, Rox and Whitebeard. Rox was one of the most powerful pirates in history, renowned for leading a crew composed of exceptionally strong pirates, including the likes of Kaido, Big Mom, Whitebeard, and Shiki, just to name a few. Rox possessed an immense level of superhuman strength. He was renowned for easily killing a Marine admiral, single-handedly destroying one of the gates of justice, and dominating countless Davy backfights to recruit powerful individuals such as Whitebeard, Shiki, and Big Mom. He was even regarded by some as the first and most formidable rival of the Pirate King, Goldie Roger. He was so fearsome, it took the efforts of both Roger and Monkey D. Garp working together to finally defeat him. Rox's defeat was also what caused Garp to become a legend and to be known as the hero of the Marines, showing how much of a threat the world government considered him to be. Kaido, who by the present has come to be called the world's strongest creature, included Shebek when he listed a very small number of notable figures that were worthy to stand against him in battle, alongside Kozuki Oden, Shanks, Newgate, and Roger. And let's be honest, Rox could not only stand against him, but easily trash Kaido in actual battle. Rox was one of the few people in the world known to possess supreme king haki, and what's more, he was one of the very few capable of infusing it into his sword to drastically increase the power of his strikes. When it comes to Whitebeard, well, we already analyzed him quite a bit in previous points, so we'll just add that when you combine Rox with a beast like Whitebeard, yeah, this duo rightfully belongs to be placed at the top of the list. Click on this video next, where I'm explaining the reactions each One Piece character will have when Zoro dies. Go on, check it out!